Hello friends, I am George Makwana and welcome to Jesus Classroom. In today's lecture, I am going to discuss with you uh, part 2 of unit number 4, microscopic technique, that is the long question portion. And as I discussed with you earlier in last lecture, that is the part 1 of a short question, I give you some name of the technique. Those are the scanning electron microscopy SAM technique, scanning tunneling microscopy technique, that is STM, AFM, atomic force microscopic technique, and the electron probe microscopic technique. One more is there, that is tunneling electron microscopy is also there, TEM. Now in part 2, that is the long question portion, I am going to discuss with you those 4 techniques in broad description, the principle, the instrumentation, some applications, advantage, disadvantage, all the points. So in first question of the part 2, that is the instrumentation as well as the mode of operation of SAM, that is the scanning electron microscopy. We can say that it's a totally descriptive kind of questions are there, and I use those text from the reference book as well as from some written materials. Okay, briefly, there are 3 group of components in instrumentation of SAM. First, there is the electron optical column, that is together with the associated electronics. Electronics, that means the instrumentation part that I use for measuring or converting the signals. Secondary, there is the vacuum system including the specimen chamber and stage. Okay, vacuum system is there. Specimen chamber, that means the chamber on which or at which the sample is put. The final group consists of the signal detection and the display systems. Okay, so 3 parts are there. Electronics part, vacuum system, and the specimen chamber system, and last one, that is called ROD, that is the readout device portion, signal detection and the display systems. Now the detection column consists of an electron gun and 2, 3 or 4 electron lenses, okay, depending on the design of the instrument. Okay, detection column, that means the working of that particular column is to detect the surface, okay, to detect the or give the signal to the instrument in such a way that you can manipulate it, or you can easily interpret the surface of the sample. Electron beam from the electron source flow through the lenses, which all serves the same function to demagnify the beam diameter. As a result of this demagnification, the spot size at the specimen is 250 angstrom or less. Okay, now in the final lens assembly, 2 sets of magnetic scanning coils, which when energized by a suitable scan generator, cause the beam to be deflected in a raster-like pattern over the specimen surface in much the same manner as in the TV tube, that is the television tube. In last lecture part 1, I already explained what is the raster scanning. Okay, the scanning of a surface in X direction with the help of that is the metal tip. Okay, cantilever tip is there, and then the one line is completed, the tip is then further move to its original position, then move move horizontally, and in some specific distance, then the scanning is continued. Okay, so the scanning process is still continuing until the whole surface of the sample is analyzed. That pattern is known as a raster pattern. 3 other components including electron columns are a set of apertures to help define the angular aperture subtended by the beam at the specimen and avoid contamination of the lens surface. Astigmatic, that means a specially designed set of coils to eliminate any small astigmatism introduced into the system. A set of chopping coils or plates so that modulation can be superimposed on the electron beam. A suitable pumping system provides the necessary vacuum both in the electron column and in the specimen chamber. Okay, pumping system is also used. The use of that system is vacuum both in the electron column as well as in the specimen chamber, so that other interfering ions or other materials do not interfere with the surface of the sample, analysis of the sample. Specimen stage is allowing the specimen to be moved about under the electron beam and to be examined at the required angle relative to the beam. Okay, so that particular beam of electron that incident on the surface of the sample, that function is done with the help of some kind of tip, okay, that eject the beam of electron and that focus on the surface of the sample. The electron beam interact with the specimen to give, among other effects, secondary electron emission, reflected electron current, beam induced conduction, often cathode luminescence. Okay, each of these signals can be detected, then amplified and used to control the brightness of one of the blank of cathode ray tubes, CRT. The spot position in each of these CRT tubes is determined by the same scan generator, which affects the position of primary beam on the specimen surface. In addition to scan generator, the essential electronic component include the high stability EHT supply for the electron gun, current supply from the magnetic lenses, the control system for the cathode ray tubes. The ancillary equipments associated with the various signal detection system and monitoring system. The detector system, that is the instrumentation of SAM. This system can be used to study a full set of data simultaneously. A secondary electron emission is detected by the system. Okay, metal cup with a metal gauge over the opening is held to say 200 volts. Secondary electrons emitted by the specimen are attracted towards these collectors. Okay, that metal cup or metal gauge collect the electrons. Okay, the secondary electrons, those are emitted from the surface of that particular sample, and in that case here the signal is secondary electrons which are emitted from the surface, which are scattering from the surface. Okay, once a beam of electron that incident on the surface of the sample, those electrons are penetrate towards the surface of the sample up to certain micrometers. Then what happens, those electrons are maybe diffracted or they are scattered, and those electrons are then captured by those metal cups or metal cores. Okay, those are the secondary signals which give us information about the surface of the sample up to certain depth. Because of this, electron penetrate through the gauge and are accelerate toward the scintillator crystal on top of which is thin aluminum film maintained at 10 to 12 kilowatt. The energy acquired by the secondary electron in reaching 12 kilowatt is then converted into light by the process of impact ionization followed by radioactive recombination. A large fraction of this light is guided by a light pipe into the photomultiplier, that is your PMT detector, and so gives a pulse of electric current at the output. So in SEM, the scanning electron microscopic technique, the output is the electric current. Okay, that is converted, those electrons are first converted into light by the process of impact ionization, that is followed by radiative recombination. Then those light, the fraction of this light is then guided by light pipe into PMT, and PMT convert those into the pulse of electric current. That is the final result that is measured in the ROD readout devices. Such a collector system will also register signal from the primary electrons which are reflected directly into the scintillator. The relative the relative fraction of the total signal due to secondary electron emission and to reflected primary electrons depends on the collector aperture, its position, the collector voltage, specimen inclination relative to the beam, and on the atomic number of the specimen. Now, which kind of the interactions, the type of interactions of primary beam of electrons involved with the sample? There are when a specimen is analyzed in SAM, an electron beam is first produced and then it accelerates through a voltage of 1 to 50 kilovolt and incident on the solid surface. Okay, that is the starting of the analysis. Now these electrons are penetrated into the sample and undergo interaction with one of the uppermost atom of the surface. So that is the process. A beam of electron, okay, that is accelerate through 1 to 50 kilovolt is when incident on the surface of the sample. What happened? That beam is interact with the those atoms which are on the surface of the specimen. Okay, they undergo interaction with it up to certain depth. It undergo penetrate. If there is no interchange or transfer of energy between the beam of electron and a host atom, but the electric field originally present in the atom cause a change in the path of the primary electron beam. Okay, hence, just a minute. Hence, it is scattered through a large angle and reflected out from specimen. Okay, so that is referred as elastic scattering, or we can say that elastic interaction. Okay, that means when a beam of electron that is incident on the surface of the sample and without transferring of the energy, without transfer of energy, without interaction, if the electrons, okay, those are the electrons are just reflected out when they are undergoing interaction with the atoms that are present on the surface of the sample without exchange of the energy, those kind of events, those kind of interactions are known as elastic interaction. Now, it is more favored in atoms of high atomic number. A low energy primary beam is used when beam is interacting with atoms of solid, and if there is a transfer of energy. Okay, that is a difference between elastic and inelastic. Now here there is a transfer of energy between the atoms and beam is take place to generate a secondary beam of electron, such like OG electrons, characteristic, X-ray, etc. Okay, those two OG electron, characteristic, X-ray I am discussed with you in unit number 3. Okay, then it is referred as inelastic interaction. It is more favored in low atomic number atoms and high energy primary beam. So that question is also asking 2 marks short questions type, that is the write a note on a type of interaction take place in scanning electron microscopy. The simple answer is that 2 type of interaction are there. One in which the beam of electron when incident on the surface of the sample, it undergo interaction with the host atom, that means the atom which are present on the surface of the atom, and there is no transfer of energy between host atom and the beam of electron. Generally high energy beam are used there, and low atomic number, keep in mind, low atomic number and high energy beam are used here. Those are called elastic interaction. But if there was a transfer of energy between the beam of electron and the host atom, low energy beam are used, and that is the high atomic number. Okay, and low energy beam, high atomic number are more favorable. That is called it is more favor in low atomic number and high energy electron beam. It is a vice versa like statements. That is called inelastic interaction. That means if you remember that if in inelastic interaction, okay, inelastic interaction is favored low atomic number and high energy beam. So what is the reverse of that? That is the elastic interaction, high atomic number of atom and low energy primary beam. Okay, so in that way you can easily remember the type of interaction in SAM. that is the diagram of SAM. That is the gun of electron by which the beam of electron, look at it, that is the beam of electron is incident on a specimen. That is a variable high voltage power supply. Those are the magnetic condenser lenses which are I discussed with you in the that text portion. Those are the magnification coils, okay, those control the beam of electron. Magnetic objective lenses are there. The electron detector is there. It is a PMT, photomultiplier tubes, convert the light into the current. That current then measure in the CRT display, that is the cathode ray tube. It is your monitor, that is the readout device. Okay, that is your sample surface. Specimen means your sample surface. X-ray detector is also in some cases X-ray detector is also used. That is a vacuum, that is a sample chamber. Okay, the whole system is set as a vacuum. So that is the instrumentation with that neat and label diagram. That is a detector system, how it works. That is the photomultiplier tube. A light pipe is used here. That is the scintillator. That scintillator is set at 10 kilovolt, and that grill, the metal grill, is set at 200 volt. Okay, then the specimen, when the specimen eject the electrons, I can say when those electrons are scattered out, or I can say the out from the upper part of the surface. Then look at here, the beam of electron when incident on the surface of the sample, that some of them electrons are then re-emitted, we can say that, or transmitted, okay, transmitted from the upper part of the surface, and those electron, secondary electrons, I can say, those secondary electrons are then captured by here scintillator tip, and then convert into the current, electric current. Okay, second portion is the modes of operation of SAM. Okay, in that topic I give you the title, that is the instrumentation and interaction, but in a theory portion I cover all the topics. That means the question is asked like write a brief discussion on scanning electron microscopy, like that. Okay, so that is also, it is not a part of instrumentation or interaction, but the question when asked like write a brief discussion on SAM, then this point is also write down in the answer of 6 marks. So modes of operation of SAM: if the current of emitted electrons is being exploited to obtain information, the SAM is being operated in the emissive mode. That is the first mode. Okay, if the current, that is emitted electrons, being exploited to obtain the information, okay, that means that light is converted into electric current, and if you want to measure those current in the form of result, then your system must be in an emissive mode. This notation is used whether secondary electrons are reflected primary electrons being used independently of the type of detector used. Okay, when the examination involves the use of any electric current created by the primary beam, it is said that the conductive mode of operation is being used. Okay, so when a primary beam is created, the electric current is created by the beam of electrons from the source, that is the primary beam, then that mode of is known as a conductive mode of operation. Okay, the beam of electron that is created, or that is in penetrate on the surface of sample, that is from received from the source, that is called primary beam of electron. But after that, the beam of electron that is ejected from the sample, that is coming out from the sample surface, transmitted from the sample surface, those beam of electrons are known as the secondary beam of electrons. That so please keep in mind the difference between primary and secondary beam of electrons. A third mode, that is called when the light emitted from the specimen under electron beam excitation process being used a diagnose specimen properties, the SAM is being used in the luminescent mode. Okay, irrespective of the exact mechanism where the light is radiating. So three modes are there, that is the luminescent mode when the light is examination, a conductive mode when the primary beam generate the electrons, and the next one, that is the sorry, that is the emissive mode. Okay, when the electron is generated by the atoms those are present on the surface, or we can say that electric current generated by the specimen or the sample. So emissive mode, conductive mode, and the luminescent mode. Now second, that is the a second topic, second electron microprobe technique. Second technique, explain the instrumentation of the electron microprobe with neat and clean diagram. Okay, that is the electron microprobe microscopic technique, electron microprobe technique. Okay, also in some of the book, that is electron probe technique, EPM, electron probe microscopic technique, is also written in some of the books. That is the instrumentation of electron microprobe. Look at it, that is the electron source. Okay, the coil is tungsten is there, that is the anodes. That is a slit and an accelerating plate, that is the anode. Those are the beam of electron. Those are magnetic lens, condenser lens, that's a slit. Here is a slit. Then that is the sample, specimen sample is here on a stage, that is the stage. That is the, okay, those are here the optical microscope is sat here. Okay, that is the X-ray, that is the monochromator, detector, and the readout devices. Okay, so those are the sample lenses. Objective lenses are there. Okay, those are the condenser lenses, those are objective lenses. These one are called objective lenses. Okay, now that is the diagram of EPM. Okay, an instrumentation which has proven to be particularly useful for the analysis of the surface is the electron microprobe, electron probe X-ray microanalysis, that is called EPXMA. Magnetic field are used to focus a beam of electrons. Here a beam of electrons are focused under the applied magnetic field on the surface of a sample. Now those electrons are bombarded, causes emission from the sample as in a X-ray tube, and that emitted X-ray are mounted. That's why the technique is known as electron probe X-ray microanalysis technique. Okay, because when a beam of electron is bombarding on the surface of the sample, it causes emission of the X-ray, and those X-ray are monitored in the technique as a result. That's why the technique is known as X-ray, EPXMA. Okay, X-ray microanalysis technique. Optical microscope is attached to the device in such a manner that the portion of the surface that is observed in the optical microscope is identical to the portion upon which the electron beam is focused. Okay, that means the optical microscope is for example, optical microscope is focused like that. That means at the point at which the beam of electron is focused. For example, if a beam of electron is focused here, then the optical microscope is sat here. Okay, to monitor what happened on the surface of the sample. That is the arrangement. The electron source is a heated tungsten cathode. The electrons are accelerated by anode through one or more slits and focused by two magnetic lenses on the sample. The use of those condenser lenses, magnetic lenses, are they focus the beam of electron towards the surface of the sample. Typical beam diameters are in the range from 0.1 to 5 micrometer. The electron beam, optical microscope, and the entrance to the X-ray spectrometer are all focused on the sample spot on the sample. Okay. The sample is placed on a stage that is similar to microscope stage. Okay, you see the microscope. The stage is accurately moved while the sample is observed through the microscope until the sampling site located. Movement is stopped at the chosen site and electron beam is discharged. The energy of the electron beam is determined by the change in potential between the cathode and the anode, that is up to 10 to 50 kilovolt potential. Applies kinetic energy is 1.6 to 10 raised to minus 15, 18 to 10 raised to minus 15 joule to electrons. The apparatus is operated in a vacuum at a pressure below 10 raised to minus 5 torr. Typically, detection for EPXM may vary from 10 raised to minus 14 to 10 raised to minus 12. So that is all about the instrumentation as well as some important points regarding to the two techniques, SAM as well as the EPM, electron probe microscope technique. Okay, so the weightage of those questions are 6 marks. Okay, after that, watching the video, if you have any doubt in your mind, then you can ask me in the comment box, or you can ask me in the my WhatsApp number also. So that's all about today's lecture. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask me. Thank you for watching.